Hello everybody, Block Koopa is here with
ChampionNBloom
and
Brawler Claw 67.
And we're back with more Danganronpa. We got executed.
The death was a lie.
Except for when we didn't.
We died, but we got better.
Yeah.
We were only mostly dead.
Yeah. Massive high school
The reports
towers.
of my death were greatly exaggerated.
Yep.
The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world.
Do we need to reread this part? We technically already read this part.
Hope Speak Academy.
It's the opening of the entire game. We've read it
I'll
four
do it
times
anyway.
now.
It's been a while.
It brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me.
Dots.
NNG.
What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever.
Oh, was
but-
I dreaming about getting accepted to this awesome school again? Dang it.
What was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on?
Dots.
Good.
I enjoy vocalizing the dots.
Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then, I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remember all too well what had happened. Alter Ego
Well, you were looking
saved me.
forward. How do you know there was...
And he used up the last bit of his strength to do it.
You was looking forward. How did you know?
That's a good question.
Maybe there's just another monitor facing you before it as well.
Maybe. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here.
Right around.
It's locked.
Right around.
No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if not getting out of here anytime soon. I tried to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. Mood.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly.
Gut crunch. Gut crunch.
What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over here? Over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched out, or my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash. Rude.
Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells.
This place smells awful.
Kyoko,
Kyoko, you got a little something.
You look like you're doing better than I expected.
what are you doing
so,
here?
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you.
I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair.
Thoughts?
She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me
Hey.
again.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. That's a wish point.
Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Whew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going.
So you still haven't given up then?
Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Hmm?
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at.
Also, I want to comment on how this is the rocket from the beginning of the game.
Yep.
So very, very, very good.
We did notice that. Oop. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So,
To pay a debt, or no, to atone.
The tone?
you.
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything.
So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you.
And I knew that you knew that I knew.
Don't say that.
I didn't know
You
that.
didn't abandon me.
What? Just kidding. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However,
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason I had to survive, no matter the cost.
Why did you have to survive?
it's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything right after these important messages. The reason I have to survive
In other
is
words,
so that I can do what I came to the school to do.
What?
Well,
I made up my mind to come to Hope Academy for one very important reason.
So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
indeed.
That's right. At least I did once.
Once?
I.
Till recently, I'd forgotten what it was.
You forgot? But that's...
I had no memory of what my purpose was.
No memory? That's impossible.
Amnesia? Nuts.
Then...
well, yes, the other horror game series that I never finished.
Then is it really true?
We'll get back to
You
it.
lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school?
The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem.
I entered the astral plane. Thinking back on it now, I think at that point was when my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was.
But what would you... What
She's
would
the ultimate
make you
amnesia.
forget all that?
Hey,
Indeed.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine that it happened just by chance. It's much too convenient.
Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory.
But why would they want to do that?
I'm too powerful. There's only one reason I can come up with. Because my purpose and my ability somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans.
So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However,
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back. Did she just get them back though? That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. You said until recently. She had lost.
But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
why is that?
If I did that and we all walked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there was always the chance that the mastermind was actually one of us.
What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal out of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right?
The mastermind, one of us, should believe that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me.
But why me?
Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but
Yeah, she rolled really high on her intuition check.
you did.
I see. Your intuition is right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand.
Oh yeah, this is the thing that
I
happened.
should
Yeah.
Fever dream speak.
understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Good. It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
listen.
Are you okay?
Buster Wolf.
So you've
Oh,
made
yeah.
up for your past
It's not-
mistakes.
Yeah, he missed
This
it
is
last time.
I missed it last time,
And
and
Nicholas got it.
yeah. It is nothing, right?
Dawson.
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced.
Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. I
You
want to know
mentioned-
what those are.
You mentioned your ability.
My ability, what everyone should have known me for.
Is something we're gonna have to figure out in the next episode. I'm kidding.
well.
It's only
Well,
11. We're only 11 minutes in. It's fine.
And the ultimate Sherlock Holmes.
I made that joke last time, though, so I
I'm
had
the
to make it
ultimate
again.
Agatha Christie character, protagonist.
Indeed. The ultimate detective?
correct.
And the reason I came to Hope Academy was to be in an Agatha Christie novel. There was something I had to find here in the school.
You had to find someone? Who?
Someone.
So,
Well, it's headmaster of Hope Academy
The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster?
because he's my father. No, that's impossible.
No!
in
What?
other words,
I was separated from him as a child, and it turns out he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak.
Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the mastermind was involved.
The
I,
headmaster.
Headmaster,
I'll
did I say?
find a way.
Did I say mastermind?
Yeah.
Oops.
Huh?
I,
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
no matter what.
No matter the cost.
So,
Yoko, what's going on? Dawson.
I,
My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. Makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him.
That makes sense.
however,
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say I wanted to protect it. Or I didn't say that to protect it. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room.
Then what did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. The desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there.
You mean
I was able.
the
I had an
mastermind,
opportunity
right?
to not flub that line.
it's true.
Yeah.
This is my assumption, and yes, or that was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicions. I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found,
But why there?
because I also found this in the headmaster's room.
This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it here in the headmaster's room. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. So the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
That's when I finally remembered. I speak Pidget. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room.
So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
Nicholas, did you get that joke?
Hmm?
I said, finally remembered I speak Pidget. Did you get that joke?
I feel like I've heard it before.
It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
It actually wasn't the Super Show. It was the.
Oh, you're right.
It was Mario Brothers 3.
It was the No, it was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
No, because the Pidgets are in Mario Brothers 3. No, they're not.
No,
Yeah, they
the
are.
Pidgets are in
No,
2.
they're not.
Pidgets are in
It
Mario
was
Bros.
the
2.
Super Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Super Show. Anyway, once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't actually have any cameras on. She didn't say actually, but I did.
So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean.
It's hard to describe. All I can say is,
I.
the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined.
What do you mean?
So.
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough.
Sounds like it must be important and really ominous. Talk to her again.
Yes,
However.
keep throwing question marks at her. Of course, you noticed, go to the dorms, so I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building.
It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However.
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill it. And I know it wasn't you.
Well, that's something a killer would say.
I know, right?
Yeah, but that's also something the not killer would say.
Yeah, it's also something that the person who isn't the killer would say.
I know.
Which is why I hate
I
that
know.
phrase. Obviously, in a joking context, it's fine.
That sounds like something a liar would say. Well, it also sounds like something someone who's telling the truth would say, so...
It seems we have reached an impasse.
Depends on whether or not they're lying or telling the truth now, doesn't it?
I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway.
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed.
Get you killed?
Indeed.
But I stole that key and disappeared. In retaliation, they wanted to drop me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial.
It was?
The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly.
You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly.
With minimum restrictions, you are free to explore Hope Speak Academy at your discretion.
Wait, what would that
In
mean,
other
though?
words.
What would have happened if any of us got any of the other trials wrong, then? Would he have actually eliminated everybody, or would he just played it off and kept the whole killing game going? Because obviously he just executed potentially 2 people who were innocent.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
So that must mean that's confusing. Anyway, Mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. In which case they wouldn't have been adamant about that rule. And that is one of the regulations. I don't know. Since they couldn't kill them themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it.
Well, Mondo admitted to doing it. Celeste gave up. I don't remember if Leon
I'm
confessed,
just
though.
saying, like, theoretically.
The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What's that?
There's a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Mikoto.
I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Do you mean during the night?
I can hear him now. The footsteps of the god of death.
What?
I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened to you.
With you.
With you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow across the corridor, just like Celeste did. Gave chase right away and I followed it. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
Except this time it actually was the case. I ran into your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However.
That wasn't the end of things, of course. You just said, of course, in two sentences in a row. That's a little bit not great. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the mass assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised at the top, and the dojo key wound up in my room.
They're mirror.
It has always been the work of the mastermind and attempts to use the class trial to eliminate me.
So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro was also the mastermind, right?
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think.
That's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? Mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed a class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you and your room. Everything they did is a contradiction.
So, what does it all mean?
In other words.
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. And I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. Then the music kicks in.
The other ultimate despair?
There's no doubt that Mikuro was ultimate despair and that he's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person.
It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event.
You're talking about...
That's right.
What happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
the tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair?
The awful, horrible, no good, very bad day. A despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy.
Chapter 5.
Oh no.
Still such a
There's
weird title
blood
for a
on
chapter.
the screen now. Is it just because she got a little bit of junk food on her forehead when she fell down here?
I guess. Dream Island rocket! We got a rocket! Yes, and that is where we stopped before.
Alright.
And now
That
we're all
actually is-
caught up.
That, yeah, so now we're all caught up, but this is only 21 minutes in, so we're gonna continue.
Cool.
Alright.
Sorry, I just need to do a quick stretch. So now we're all caught up. I mean, obviously I still know what happens. But, and then you remember...
I am pretty sure I remember what happens. Probably not in every little.
Yeah, probably not in a lot of detail. Alright.
That was your line.
The Ultimate Despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed.
Well, not really.
Yeah, not really. But right now,
Anyway.
Right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after.
yeah, you're right. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it.
And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Well, she actually said that one.
Yeah. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? The door!
We should.
Hey Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out.
Kyoko took out the key with the mastermind design... with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then...
Click.
Yes, it opened!
Indeed.
Now we can get out of here. Let's go.
Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from a garbage pit.
Yay.
Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun.
Ultimate. Oh, all the things.
Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death.
Oh.
That's a lot of ultimates.
It is. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up, like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the
I
surface.
thought we were gonna do that thing where we go back to back and like crawl up it.
Oh, no.
I thought we were gonna do
A
that.
good thing we decided to go first, because,
Yeah.
you know. The ladder
Yeah.
was but the good thing this game doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
Except for when it does.
Wait, what?
There was the point with Hina before she found Alter Ego the first time.
Oh yeah, but it
It, was a
wasn't
little,
that bad.
it wasn't really that bad.
It wasn't
But it was
that
just
bad.
kind of weird, just the fact that they did it at all.
Eh.
I'm actually going to go ahead and drop a quick save. Right. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far
Hey.
down.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you.
Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous.
Thoughts?
Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work?
How long?
So.
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way.
Then is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even when actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us.
Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
Because we take pride in it.
Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover absolute truth.
I don't know that I agree with seeing it that way. I see justice and truth as being connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. I think the idea is if you're a detective, you're the one uncovering the truth. You're not. So you're like the first part of uncovering the truth, and then the justice part comes after, and you're not supposed to be involved in that part.
I guess.
Kind of like how the media's job is to report on truth, not make opinions about it.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. That's the way I interpret it.
Fair enough.
Which is why we made a conscious effort to conceal our existence.
Conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because like I said, it's a source of our pride. It's a source of pride. She didn't say our that time.
She said it's our source of pride.
That's what happened.
Pride, so that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid
Oh, that
herself on
makes sense.
purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yet, I gave up some of that pride.
Huh?
When we told us? No. In order to enter Havoc Academy, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do.
But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
Thoughts?
what?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father.
Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though.
What?
Screw you, Dad.
Yeah, no matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face.
What is it?
so
I want to sever all ties with him.
Oh my gosh, she really is pulling the screw you, Dad. You'll never understand, Carl.
Last time I
That's not even how I was thinking of it.
Wait, what?
The screw you, Dad, you'll never understand. She's being an angsty teen.
Mhm. I already read it.
Oh, sorry.
I was still very young, so I don't remember myself. But I don't remember myself. But apparently, he was extremely intelligent. He was aligned to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future,
however,
but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family.
Starting to sound like a mafia.
I know, right?
Talking about the family.
I know. Not long after that, I don't know how to. I was gonna try to do an Italian accent, but I don't know how to do an Italian
Yeah.
accent, so I'm not going to. Not long after that, my mother
Just
died.
pinch your
and she
fingers
ran
together,
away.
you got it.
Pinch your fingers together? Oh, that's true.
That's true. You went to my grand. No, that's not it. I tried. He went to my
Well, you tried.
he went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. I actually did the fingers thing too.
Yeah.
And I was young, young as I was, he left me behind.
I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
That's true. That I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in what I do. I take pride
Sorry, I
in
didn't
family
mean
name.
to click.
You're fine. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective.
I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, so I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional.
I don't blame him, you know? He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
But there's one thing. One thing I can never forgive.
Really?
so
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
however,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to
Ouch.
this day.
I
His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
correct.
That's why I have to find him and to tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my
Not a
life
phase,
forever.
Mom.
I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago.
But your family, to just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey,
Is blood really enough to call someone family?
Only connected by blood, but not heart and soul.
I mean,
or not by heart or soul.
technically that's
That
correct.
is a very
because-
loaded question. That is a very loaded question.
That is a very deep philosophical question.
Well, I
because
know. I think
people
it's
have
kind of
different
an obvious
definitions.
answer because marriage connects people as
Well, that's true. Well,
But
I
it
was
doesn't
talking.
Yeah.
certainly you're not getting a blood transfusion whenever you get married. So,
Expanding the family.
so yeah, the marriage connects you by family. So,
Yeah, well-
as family. So it's kind of an obvious question.
Adoption.
That's true.
Adoption
Well,
also
I
connects
was
you to
going to say
family.
that that's a big philosophical question of what counts as family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top.
That's a big old door.
Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Geek is waiting for us.
We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch in the ground near the trash room? Is this a good thing though? To just like reappear? Or are we not just gonna get like what's gonna happen when we reappear?
I suppose we're gonna
Like,
find
all
out.
the other students will be happy to see us, but Monokuma won't be.
Monokuma's be like, hey.
What the heck?
We'll find
I'm
out.
fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble.
Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch.
Oh heck, there's a box on top of it.
The hatch opened with ease, and so,
Well, let's try.
Oh yeah, I remember that hatch.
we're
I forgot about
here.
the hatch.
Looks like we're back. Yeah, I had to.
Down the hatch. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted.
I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. And back to the save
Back
screen.
to the save. You always come crawling back. That's what the save screen is saying.
You couldn't live with your own failure. Where did that lead you? Back,
Right
to,
back to
me.
me.
Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you.
No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor.
Alright. So what's the next step once we get out of here? I need to ask you. I should ask. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, that's how I almost said headmaster.
Well, I mean, is there not a camera in this room?
I mean, yeah, he's gonna find out regardless.
He's still like,
I'm worried about you too.
Yeah.
I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might.
Listen.
you're worried?
Yeah, of course.
So then,
Let's just get a concrete answer.
Huh?
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping.
Wait,
What?
that's.
He already knows that you're here. There's a camera here. If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time until we're found out, and it's not like we can run away.
As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now?
Don't worry. What do you think is going to happen? What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared.
The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
so
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down.
There was?
right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. Thoughts?
I'm still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going.
Oh, okay, we're going on a bear
Or we
hunt.
can just say his name 3 times and he'll appear.
We're on a bear
Say his name
hunt.
3 times in the
I don't think
background.
We don't know how to wean them out.
I thought you were gonna reference like an old song that I used to sing, but I don't remember the words to.
No, I was referencing Beetlejuice.
Oh, I was
Oh, yeah.
referencing SpongeBob movie. We were all referencing something completely different.
Go. Gosh, I wish I remembered
I
the
could
words.
reference
'cause I know
another
it's-
song. I don't think this is the same song as you're talking about, but I could do Pigpen, this year's a rubber duck, and we're about to go a hunting bear.
Oh no.
No.
That's a good
Well now.
Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
I don't.
But Mikado's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here?
That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay?
You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
Well, yes, but also you did first. So what if I did? What will you do?
Shing.
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed.
But I'm not the
It's
guilty
unfortunate.
party.
It's unfortunate, but that is the rule.
Making me
So now I gotta punish you again. And this time I won't leave anything to Champ.
Kyoko?
Do whatever you feel you have to.
What?
Kyoko!
Before you do, let me just say one thing. If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that matters to you, right?
Huh? I lose?
Hey!
Yo! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest class trial for yourself, right?
You set it up yourself.
You set it up yourself. I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as blackened and executed, right?
Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting, because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right,
And in response to that unexpected development,
indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the blackened and tried to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well. Dust.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery.
Alter ego.
You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you kill it.
am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro, you did. Dots.
Listen
So
to
executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right?
And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well,
And you can prove this, right?
well,
No, I can't.
Don't just say it like that.
What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find something.
That's right.
Because no matter how... Something, yeah. But because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth.
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
It's because she is one.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair of you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
what the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because of what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Correct.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making all this up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
That's what we have
then
to
I
do.
suggest you take my advice. Thoughts?
So, what is this advice of yours?
it's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this
What?
time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time
It's
for
time-
one last showdown.
Okay.
One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say?
A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word.
Thoughts? Thoughts?
Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, that physically hurt. Very interesting indeed.
Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Oh no. Now, what you suggested might be. possible.
I love puns.
It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
Oh my gosh. Does that mean you accept?
Every pun is dealing 10 points of psychic damage. If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you
There it is.
Dang it.
You were asking for that one earlier.
I was more looking for best bear, but
Yeah,
alright. And it would cause you unbearable despair,
You're
right? Then
This is my favorite. Oh, there we go.
Then I'm prepared.
Hey, there it is.
With death, God dang it! No!
Barely contain myself.
Let's have one fight, God!
He agreed.
I love this. This is
Then we still have a
hilarious.
shot at this.
Hear it.
But
Oh,
this is the
gosh.
love. Oh my freaking God! Make it stop! Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end. So for the God, I can't escape. So for his final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here.
All the mysteries?
That's right, every last mystery. I give up. That's pawing around the school. If you can do that, then that will be enough to that's not even a real bear. Qualify as a victory for you.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along.
Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. I have no soul
Oh, he
left.
should have said that let's lay it all bare. That's what he should have said.
If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys.
then you win. But if you can't do all that,
Well, fakes execution, right?
I can barely contain my that was the worst. Excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me?
We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair?
Honestly, can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But
I
before,
honestly
we,
can't believe the amount of bear puns I had to read.
but before we get started, I wanted to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? Do you know the rules?
Do you know the rules?
When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for God, it's not over!
It's not over.
It's not over yet.
I remember that
Just because
for
the music
sure.
stops,
So
stop
what?
the bear puns out.
hey,
I just want to confirm.
I just want. Oh, wait.
That's me. I just want to confirm. That is what
Yeah.
you said, right? And it's a true statement.
You don't have to be. I see it coming. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that.
Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro...
It's a very polarizing. Oh God, dang it! It's a very polarizing approach. I know, but okay, enough puns. Thank God. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Dots. Dots.
Why'd he go quiet all of a sudden?
Dots.
Oh, I'm
I'm-
really angry.
I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would you?
Why so mad?
He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey,
Leave me alone. Get out of here.
Okay, I'm going.
You're not my real
I
dad.
just- You're really gonna let me go?
Dots.
I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment, overflowing with despair. That.
Hey,
Calm, Coda. Let's go.
Okay.
It gets worse.
It continues. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away.
Oh no, it follows.
And just like that, we were out of the gym. Oh no.
You ever see that movie?
I need to run up my temple to get rid of the headache that those puns gave me.
Yeah. I could hardly believe it,
I
but
thought it was hilarious.
somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected.
You could say that it fills us with determination, Dawson.
We could.
Or hope, whichever you prefer.
Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt.
I do like the idea that you could literally just replace the word hope with determination in this game, and this game would suddenly turn into Undertale instead of Danganronpa.
Shut up.
Think about it this
Shut
way.
up.
You could replace Undertale's determination with hope,
and it would turn into
Danganronpa.
It's true. It's true.
No, don't do this to me.
Kyoko, thank you.
And then you have to read all of Flowey's lines with a
Monokuma's
Monokuma voice.
Heck yeah.
No,
Kyoko, thank
please.
you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
However,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us.
Yeah, true.
But still, I'm glad it worked out. That definitely means the hero is the virus. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal.
But honestly, why would the Mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
The ultimate fanfiction.
Them views.
I just said the ultimate fanfiction.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No, the fanfic writers.
Don't you me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They have no choice but to accept.
Huh?
because
It's all because of that one moment that the Mastermind let their guard down, like I said.
So when was it that the Mastermind let their guard down?
so
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the Mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right?
Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right?
Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow, Mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something like that difficult.
A reason?
so
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other.
They wanted to show the world?
it would seem
The Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that.
Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
in other words.
So the Mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and to show that off to the world.
But why?
Correct.
To prove a point, most likely.
Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept.
You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair. The Mastermind wants the world to see that and to try to prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal. That's the ultimate despair.
What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right. It is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. The group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet that same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weakness.
What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the entire world, the Mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the Mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it.
And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves?
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But
That's her
in my case,
name.
they could. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use a class trial, following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer.
But even if that didn't work...
But
It's true.
even that didn't.
Oh, but even that didn't work.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer.
And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, The mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they had to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they violated their own regulations.
But all of that was just a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
However,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance, because you believed in me. Another path opened up.
Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet. But it looks like I got it right. This time,
But
at least,
she's
I
not the
won
ultimate
bet.
gambler.
Yeah.
She let out a quick sigh.
Yeah, well, the ultimate gambler lost the gamble finally, so.
It's true. She let out a quick sigh. I took a small sign of relief. Or I took it as a small sign of relief.
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time.
I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to talk to him.
Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I'd shown my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy.
Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time,
correct.
or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing.
You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win.
Hey,
We better go tell everybody else, right? Okay, I was
Yeah.
literally just thinking that, and she said it. So
Yeah.
I'm apparently transforming into Kirigiri myself.
Like I
thought you
said,
were gonna
I'm
say you were
psychic.
turning into. Yeah, exactly. I thought you were gonna say you were turning into Sayaka. And becoming
Oh,
psychic.
that too.
And becoming psychic.
Yeah, but in order to do that, I have to. No, I'm not gonna. Never mind. I was gonna make a really, 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 really stupid joke, and I decided against it before I said it. Before we begin the battle, we have to tell the others what's going on.
True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind.
Work together with
Do we have to
everyone.
work together with Byakuya?
Is that really possible?
Huh?
anyway,
Anyway, right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorm somewhere. Shall we go? Well, but what if one of them is the mastermind, though? Isn't that what we're potentially trying to figure out? Or
Yeah,
we're just trying to,
they're
or we're
heavily
just trying to
implied-
figure out who killed Mukuro.
We have to figure out everything. All the secrets.
All of the things.
All of the secrets.
All of
Oh,
the
so
things.
this is like the last one.
This
Yes,
is like the
this is the last
You
one.
could call this the ultimate trial.
The ultimate trial.
Ultimate class trial. Because this game follows a very specific naming sequence.
Indeed.
Everything is ultimate, despair, or hope related.
Indeed.
That's not the dorms.
And suddenly, we were greeted with...
Oh,
Where do I begin?
give it your best shot. That was better than I would have done.
I think that sounded okay. You again.
Numbers.
255.
Is he broken?
I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit.
For some 61. I don't know how much more this it could take.
Hold on, I feel like that might be trying... Because the for some makes me
3
think
to 30.
assume. Oh, no, because that'd be 2 S's. Never mind.
Yeah.
Jeez, what the heck? I thought I was trying to...
That was gibberish.
I thought it was...
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
gibberish.
I thought it was maybe...
You look like some kind of really messed up math equation to me. I
Yeah.
wonder what that was all about. Because it was going about 3. It was AG cubed. And then 4 sum equals.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I couldn't
Anyway,
help but let out a sigh of relief.
I felt like it was jumbled code.
Who's the ah?
Is that Makoto?
Yay!
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
At least pretend to be happy, Byakuya.
You're not a ghost.
He's sociopathic. I don't think he can pretend to be happy.
Everyone... well... Sociopaths can. Well, I think both
No,
sociopaths...
psychopaths are the ones who pretend. Sociopaths don't pretend.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Everyone was there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
Can I punch Hero just to prove that I'm not a ghost?
Yeah. Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks. It's Makoto. He smells like a wet dog. Oh, that's... Get away, shoo, shoo. You're as bad as my breath was earlier. Dots.
In a flash, my tears dried up. Well, about that.
Sucks. Oh, you stink. Are you rotten? Rotten physically, mentally, everywhere you can be rotten. Every way.
Sorry, I was rolling around in garbage for a while.
The smell is so smelly. It's like a smelly smell that smells smelly. I think that's how the line goes.
No.
You smell even worse than
I
me.
smell
way
a
worse than
smelly smell. That smells smelly.
Yeah, that one.
I win.
She seems happy for some reason.
Okay, because she's a freak.
Good for her.
So, what have you guys been doing while I was gone?
Well, we figured that since the trial was over, we'd have access to new places again.
And?
No dice. All the rooms that were locked before were still locked.
So there weren't any new areas. Then where can we go to find new clues?
We have an ultimate key.
The ultimate key.
Like I said, everything has to be ultimate, despair, hope related.
Exactly.
I still can't believe you survived.
Yeah, me neither.
Do you realize why it is you escaped? That should have a question mark.
It was alter ego. He saved my life.
That's right.
Not too many people can say they've had their life saved by a computer program. Bruce Boxlight again. No, Bruce Spotlighter was Tron.
What?
Never mind.
Oh no, robotic surgery is becoming more and more of a thing.
I imagine it was a learning experience for you. God, no, Bruce Boxleitner was Tron. Who
Yo.
played? Heck.
Of course.
That was Jeff Bridges. Anyway, Makoto, what was it like hanging out in the spirit world? Yeah.
I didn't go to the spirit world.
You know?
Did you get to talk to her?
Who?
Miss Cleo.
No, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't go to the spirit world. I mean, who the heck is Miss Cleo?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. We do explain to everyone what happened with Makuma.
Yes.
Explain? Explain what? But it's okay that you're here. What if that mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what I have to tell you all.
I need to tell you all about the last class trial.
Last class trial.
In other words,
We're going to
Silly.
redo Mukuro's trial. Sorry, I read it, but then I didn't read it out loud. What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right?
No, I didn't do it. Like I keep telling you.
wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you. Then who is it?
I see.
What you're saying is it was all the work of the mastermind.
Huh?
What? You're saying the mastermind killed Mukuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to do to stop it.
However,
About that.
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
He spotted the trap. Makoto?
You make it sound like it was easy. I just,
however,
Pick the other option
But
after I picked the
executing
wrong
Makoto,
one.
who wasn't the blacking, is a clear violation of school regulations. The rules state that only the blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time. And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast again, the leverage you needed, didn't you?
correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. You said, when you said, now it's the mastermind that's ensnared, that's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean.
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. For everyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again, later. So knowing all of this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's time to kill Mukuro, right? So it's our job to expose the mastermind? But there's more to it than that, correct?
Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school.
Every last mystery?
But
But we've been looking around all this time and we didn't know anything, we still don't know anything, right?
Anyway,
You probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies. Everyone? Hey, you said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us. I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine living here forever. Yeah. I meanwhile want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
anyway,
Every
Anyway.
second, I relate to Byakuya more and more.
I know, right? Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. By the way, I got it right.
Interesting.
Bruce Boxleitner was Tron, and Jeff Bridges was Kevin Flynn. So
Thank you.
we're the Jeff Bridges, and alter ego was Bruce Boxleitner. I'm making a Tron reference.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, in other words, the one decisive final battle, a rather interesting development, I'd say. I was just wanting to make sure so that the people in the comments would correct me.
Okay.
But figuring out who the mastermind is, and how they kill Mukuro, and all the school's mysteries, all of the school's mysteries, that's a tall order.
Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries.
I'm not so sure about that. What?
Huh?
If the detectives. I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone.
You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought too, at first. Until Monokuma gave that little hint of his that I was
Hint?
expecting the word last there somewhere, but it wasn't.
Yeah, she caught it too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
one more
the
time.
puns are not done yet.
It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step at Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? And Kyuko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. Huh? But why?
So in
If
other
the mastermind
words,
really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have had to have set foot in this school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
in other words,
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is...
Okay.
There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning, and in Mukuro, add in Mukuro and you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them,
that's right.
and of those 16 people we started out with, the only ones alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now? You're saying the mastermind is
I
one
feel
of
like
us.
it's going to be something stupid, like somehow Leon survived his punishment and now he's the mastermind or something like that.
You can't be serious.
Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said all that to confuse us.
That's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. We can't say it's not possible.
But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well,
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
but
I don't care how sneaky you are, we would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right,
Then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand.
In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us.
Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of conversation.
Well, maybe, but still.
That would be impossible, but monumentally difficult.
Mm-hmm.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably at this
Oh, sorry.
point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
There is absolutely no way I could pull something like that off.
Mm-hmm. How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation.
But
I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my
At this
family.
point, I can rely only on myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins. I had no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then.
after making his final statement, Yakuya left the dining hall.
Master, he didn't take me with him.
Hey.
Do you blame him? No, Master, the rest of you are like, coffee with cream without the cream, or coffee, what? You're totally useless. What the heck does that mean? So bye.
With that, Toko drudged out of the dining hall.
And now she's gone. And you're gonna go up by yourself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves
But we
Makoto
could
and
trust
Kiri.
each other.
That's,
You know?
in that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a
You know
Wait, how
why?
come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spear power to figure out and maximize it, and that.
Hero's gonna die, isn't he?
Laughing loudly, Hiro left the dining hall.
It's really gonna go off by themselves.
What about you, Hina?
I guess I'll do the same thing.
But,
I mean, it's not like I don't trust everyone, you know? But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everyone else.
You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, I would have died.
Makoto? That's really nice of you to say. But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless.
okay.
So I figure, at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you
You
later.
go, girl.
Hina was in surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. Once again, it's just us two.
Indeed.
Indeed. She said indeed, I didn't say.
Yeah. But that is where we're gonna stop the episode for here.
So here.
See
Alright.
you next time.
Bye.